very glad you could join us. Welcome to Newsround on Channels Television, where we recap stories that made headlines during the week. I am Bukola Koka. The headlines. Wins and rewards roll in this week for Nigeria's sports team as the federal government rewards Nigeria's female basketball team, Digress, with national honors and each player getting $100,000 and an apartment. After a tussle at the local wing of the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja, popular Fuji musician Wasiu Ayinde Marshall apologizes to the president, aviation regulators, and his fans. The federal government advocates local and standard production of military hardware in the continued fight against insecurity. Plus, President John Mahama joins mourners in Accra, Ghana to honor victims killed in Wednesday's helicopter crash. That's Newsround in view. Newsround begins with some cheery news as President Bola Tinubu on Monday conferred the honor of Officer of the Order of the Niger on Nigeria's women's basketball team, Digress, winners of the 2025 FIBA Women's Afro-Basket Championship. Making the announcement on behalf of the President, Vice President Mr. Kashim Shettima praised the team for their unity and the lessons they have brought home, symbolizing the promise of unity in a diverse nation. He also announced the award of $100,000 for each of the players and $50,000 to members of the technical team, among other rewards.
The atmosphere radiates with joy as the victorious Afro basketball champions arrived at Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport to the waiting arms of officials of the National Sports Commission and the Nigerian Basketball Federation. With excitement, tributes are heaped on the team. The team is then taken to the State House for a reception.
Congratulations, good to see you again.
The First Lady is on hand to receive them.
I'm just here.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
They then led to the reception venue. At hand is the Vice President and his wife, the First Lady, the Chairman of the National Sports Commission, the President of the Nigerian Basketball Federation, some ministers, and other guests. The chairman of the National Sports Commission highlights the historical context of Nigerian sports and the consistent performances of women teams. The captain of the team is full of appreciation.
This is a remarkable and defining moment for Nigerian sports, and more so for Nigerian women in sports. From the football pitch to the basketball court, that continue to lead from the front, lift our spirits, and raise our national profile with consistent performances and undiluted patriotism.
It means the world to us to be able to be hosted here today and to be able to represent our country in this way, to bring back another championship, to be able to inspire young women, young girls around the world, that they can one day too be in our shoes.
For the First Lady, the team should be celebrated not only as athletes, but also as ambassadors of a great nation.
This victory is not just a win on the court, it is a resounding statement of hard work, excellence, and national pride. This is a moment that will forever inspire generations of Nigerian girls and women to dream big, boldly, and pursue greatness. It is a clear indication that hard work and teamwork is what it takes to succeed.
The trophy is then presented to the Vice President. Speaking afterwards, he says the victory holds valuable lessons for the country.
You have once again reminded us of the promise of sports in a nation this diverse. This victory is what happens when we work together. So you have not only brought home a trophy, you have brought home lessons for all of us.
He then makes some pronouncements.
OON nationality honors for team, coach, and technical team. $100,000 US for each player. $50,000 US for coach and technical team, each member.
The players and the technical team also get a flat each. They then receive a handshake from the president, his wife, and the first lady, followed by a group photograph. A very joyous crowd here, as for the second Monday in a row, they're here to receive champions and to celebrate Nigeria winning gold. And what a lot of people are saying here is that if this is the way to go, then more should keep coming for Nigeria, for our nation. From the presidential villa, Lanre Lasese, Channels Television News.
Supporters of the human rights activist. But before we get to that, on Wednesday, the 6th of August, 2025, at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja, Fuji musician Mr. Wasiu Ayinde Marshall, popularly known as KWAM, was seen having an altercation with the Value Jet crew in a video that has now gone viral. The incident earned him severe penalties as the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Mr. Festus Keyamo, directed the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, to place KWAM on a no-fly list pending a full investigation. In a statement, Mr. Keyamo said the artist was seen repeatedly obstructing an aircraft on the tarmac, blocking it from taxiing. He also criticized the flight crew for attempting to move without first ensuring the tarmac was clear, calling it an unacceptable breach of protocol. The Fuji musician has, however, apologized over the incident.
I am here to make clarification of the incident that happened on the 5th of August 2025 at Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport local wing while about to board aircraft from Abuja to Lagos. The incident is highly regrettable because I have contributed the better part of my life in the past 50 years to the growth and development of Nigeria, my country, art and culture, both in and out of the country. I've been a good ambassador of this great nation, in and out, in very many ways. Somebody like me should not be found in such incidents. I accept responsibility and appealing to Mr. President, the country, the Honorable Minister for Aviation, the FAAN, the NCAA, and my fans across the globe to please pardon my behavior. Number one, I passed through 2 checkposts and the content of my cup was screened. Need to say I have any content in the cup. Until I got to the lounge while awaiting the boarding of the aircraft, I pour water in it because of my health situation. I need to be sipping water because I'm dehydrated, as recommended by doctor to me. Like I said, I take full responsibility of all incidents. Once again, I seek forgiveness from Mr. President, the Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who is also my father and father of the nation, the Honorable Minister for Aviation, the pilot, the airline staff, passengers, and above all, my fans across the globe, my family, for the incident.
Supporters of human rights activists Omoyele Sowore took to the streets in Abuja and Lagos, demanding his immediate release after he was taken into police custody on August the 6th. The Nigeria police denied claims of maltreatment against the human rights activist, where he was detained at the Intelligence Response Unit of the force in Abuja. However, Mr. Sowore dismissed the claims as he alleged that he was injured by the police while they attempted to take him to court. The Commissioner of Police in charge of Special Intervention Squad, Mr. Abayomi Shogunle, has said that Mr. Sowore was in safe hands. And Mr. Sowore has now been released on Friday night after spending more than 48 hours in police custody at the force headquarters.
In Lagos, a handful of protesters gathered at the Lagos Police Command in Ikeja, singing, chanting, and expressing their thoughts over the detention of social activist Mr. Omoyele Sowore. The police are also on ground to maintain law and order. Defying the early morning showers in Abuja, supporters of Mr. Sowore occupy a section of the force headquarters, demanding his release.
The overzealous police officers, they always have their way because they feel their uniform.
The Commissioner of Police in charge of Special Intervention Squad, Mr. Abayomi Shogunle, steps out to address the protesters who presented their complaints.
Omoyele Sowore requested for the petition levied against him because he needed to see the documents. That's true. But unfortunately, nothing was presented. And on that basis, Omoyele Sowore decided not to pen down any form of statement because as a freeborn and as a citizen, he deserved to see the petition written against him.
Just as you said, the two petitions against Omoyele Sowore were shown to him in the presence of those two lawyers I mentioned, right in my presence. One bordered on forgery of police documents. Then the second petition has to do with cyberbullying regarding false allegation.
Counsel to the detained activist faults the claim by the police.
Are you aware it is the right of Sowore to remain silent and to refuse to write any statement before the police? Are you aware of that? Well, are you keeping him because he has refused to write his statement?
Omoyele Sowore is in safe hands, and if you want to see him, 2 or 3 of your representatives can go with me, not this crowd.
The supporters are then led to the Intelligence Response Unit to observe the state of health of Mr. Sowore. The police and Sowore trade words on the claim of maltreatment.
What should have been done is what they don't know what to do, which is to swallow their pride, release me from detention, apologize to me, and ensure that I can go for proper treatment. But they want to hide it. Since I came here yesterday, they broke my hand. They have not been able to bring a doctor. They went and brought a nurse. Instead of them bringing a doctor, they went and brought the media now.
As the supporters of Sowore take to the streets in different parts of the country, including Lagos, Abuja, Osun, and Oyo states, calling for his release, lawyers to the detained activist insist on his unconditional release.
The Julius Abure-led Labour Party and some civil society organizations staged a protest at the national headquarters of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, over the exclusion of its flag bearers in the upcoming Federal Capital Territory area council elections and by-elections to fill vacancies in the national and state assemblies from its portal where candidates' names are displayed. The protesters, displaying various placards, demanded an explanation from the electoral umpire on the reason for the non-recognition of their candidates, describing it as a deliberate attempt to disenfranchise the party and its supporters.
Defying the reins, members of the Julius Abure-led Labour Party and some civil society organizations gather at the headquarters of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Their grievance centered on the emergence of candidates of the party for the forthcoming elections, including the FCT area election and the by-election for states and national assembly.
The duty of INEC has nothing to do with the leadership of a political party. Yes, so Labour Party conducted a primary election in FCT and the by-elections. And up till now, all names of other political parties have been uploaded into the INEC portal. But that of Labour Party is not seen.
However, the crowd becomes agitated as INEC officials refuse to address them. Finally, reason prevails and some national commissioners come out to address them.
So I've heard the message, and I believe I've heard the message correctly because you have reaffirmed what you said yourself. And I have assured Nigerians once more that we are independent and we will ensure that what the voter, the Nigerian, says is what obtains. That's right. That is an assurance.
However, a group of the party led by Nenadi Usman has distanced the party from the protest, stating that the protesters are not members of the party. The statement, which was issued by a senior special advisor on media to the interim national chairman of the party, Mr. Ken Asogwa, states that the Labour Party received the decision with relief, knowing that INEC, a responsible electoral umpire, would eventually proceed to accept and publish the authentic list submitted by the current lawful leadership of the party. Nevertheless, the protesters have given INEC 7 days to resolve the issue. Dele Omoyeni, Channels Television News.
Away from politics now, protecting the nation's territorial integrity is one of the main objectives of the armed forces, provided the necessary tools are available. The federal government is now charging the Defense Industry Corporation to ensure that military hardware and other equipment produced in the country meet international standards. Speaking at the official unveiling of the headquarters of the corporation in Abuja, the Minister of State for Defense, Mr. Bello Matawalle, stated that the establishment of the Defense Industry Corporation is a strategic move aimed at tackling the challenge of arms procurement.
The fight against insurgency is receiving a new boost as service chiefs, security experts and stakeholders converge for the official unveiling of the headquarters of the Defense Industry Corporation of Nigeria. The Minister of State for Defense, Mr. Bello Matawalle, is a special guest of honor, and he proceeds to unveil the headquarters. After the unveiling, the Director General of the corporation, Major General Babatunde Alaya, leads the minister and other guests on a guide tour of the complex. The need for Nigeria to take charge of producing arms and military hardware needed by the nation's armed forces is highlighted.
We will also commence producing DG-103 rifle, which is equivalent to AK-103 rifles, in the next 1 month. The raw materials for the production of this weapon is already in the country.
In recent years, the need for Nigeria to take charge of its defense manufacturing capacity has become more urgent and evident. Our geopolitical realities, security challenges, and economic aspirations compel us to look inward to develop, produce, and sustain the hardware that protects our sovereignty.
The effort of DICOM receives commendation from the Chief of Naval Staff.
This initiative is a commendable one, and it is my belief that as we progress with this initiative, we will also be able to attract other industry players to come and team up in helping us to get rid of this monster of foreign procurement of our military hardware.
With the evolving global security challenges, the Minister of State for Defense harps on the need for the production of military hardware that meets international standards.
I must emphasize at this juncture that all items produced under the joint venture must be in compliance with international quality standards. All activities must also be under strict supervision of the Ministry of Defense, including local and international cells. I'm confident that with this caliber of leadership and talent assembled under this joint venture, success will follow.
These stakeholders are optimistic that the reliance on importation of arms will reduce drastically.
And we end Newsround with the Ghanaian helicopter crash that occurred on Wednesday after a Z-9 Air Force helicopter went off radar shortly after taking off from Accra around 10 a.m. The lives of 2 government ministers and 6 others were lost in the tragic incident, plunging Ghana into mourning. The remains of the 8 victims have now been flown to South Africa for advanced forensic analysis. A private jet carrying the bodies departed Kotoka International Airport in Accra, the country's capital, on Thursday evening. Ghana's President, Mr. John Dramani Mahama, delivered a heartfelt address to the nation, expressing profound grief over the deaths of what he called some of the nation's brightest minds. The president joined dignitaries, relatives and friends in Accra to honor the victims of the crash. Others at the solemn ceremony also shared their tributes.
I, for one, am still living in a state of denial. And this morning, I was just telling myself that until I see their mortal remains well dressed and placed in their caskets, to convince myself that they are no more, I'm still thinking that maybe they got lost in the forest and we should just go looking for them. Because I spoke to him 3 days today.
We pray that God will touch their families. We pray that God will touch their mothers, their fathers, their wives, their children. It's a sad day to Ghana. And I will say that Galamsey, this gentleman passed away because they were going to perform national assignment. And this, their untimely death, caught up with them. I want the country to use this opportunity to totally eradicate, eliminate Galamsey.
Dr. Omanibuama is like a father to me, a friend to me, a family member. I mean, I don't know what to say. He's everything to me. You know, I'm a gospel musician. And then when we are organizing programs like this, like National Believers Thanksgiving, National Believers All Night, we need a support. He always been there to me. And then I called him last 4 days, and he told me he's going to travel. But when he come back, he will call me to come and see him at his place. I said, okay, no problem. Yesterday, around 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, and then I heard the news that this thing that happened. Very, very painful. Very, very sad. Very, very sad. I didn't think that something like this will happen to my brother.
And that sums it up on Newsround. Thank you so much for watching. I am Bukola Koka. Bye for now.